up, guys? Lance the Obscure Movie Guy coming to you once again with another fun-filled, fact-filled video that you probably won't care about, but we're going to do it anyways, trying to change the world one post at a time. And today I'm here to talk to you about 2024's Death Bitch. Death Bitch is the latest offering from Livid Media and was sent over to me by Joseph Williamson, who we've talked about a couple of times on this channel from the Williamson Entertainment Group. Sent me the screener, wanted me to do a review, and I'm here to tell you this movie is a damn good time. So look, like most low-budget independent films, there's a lot of pros and a lot of cons to this movie, and the cons, well, they're pretty standard as far as low-budget entertainment goes. Special effects, well, a lot of the gunfire in this film, and there is a lot of gunfire, it does have a body count of like 45. The gunfire was done with post-production special effects, so there is no shooting of blanks, live rounds, anything like that. Some of it could have gone without, some of it's not that great. Also, with a lot of low-budget things, we also find ourselves with some audio problems where the audio kind of cuts, I don't want to say cuts in and out, but there is a bit of an audio issue where some characters sound louder than others. Some seem to be shouting when they're actually not. The music comes and goes, kind of honky-wonky, if you will. But these are all kind of things that you run into with a lot of low-budget stuff. But realistically, the movie has actually got a really interesting storyline that I found myself kind of involved with. It's very good. It's got basically it's got three subplots that come together at the end of the movie as one larger plot. So the first plot point, and obviously the biggest one of the story, is going to be Death Bitch itself, which is a nod to Charles Bronson's Death Wish. But Death Bitch is a vigilante tale about a girl named Alexis, played by Leanna Swanson. Done admirably, by the way. The acting wasn't completely terrible in this film, in most cases. We'll get to that in a little bit. But Alexis is out as a vigilante, killing bad guys and searching for the killers of her parents. In the midst of that, subplot number 2 is that of a serial killer that is going around killing innocent women in brutal ways, sometimes at night, sometimes in broad daylight. Subplot number 3 is 2 detectives that are trying to create a case around this gang that is led by a guy named Dante. Dante is played by Ken Brewer, who is a writer, director, and acting in this movie. Well, he co-wrote the movie with Mary Giviette, I believe is how you say her last name. So there you have 3 plots that all kind of converge at the end of this movie in a pretty good way. It actually all meshed really well. And again, the acting by most characters was pretty good. Tracy Burr plays Detective Schofield, and I found her to be very convincing. She looked great as the part, very convincing as an actress, and did a really good job. And she's actually got quite an extensive IMDb when it comes to horror and horror-type comedy. That's all very low-budget independent films. So she's got a lot of experience doing low-budget type films like this. However, her partner in crime, pun intended, even though she's a detective, Doug Waugh, I believe is how you say his name. He played Detective Douglas, and his acting was kind of up and down. Sometimes it was a bit stale, sometimes it was dead on. Could have used a little bit more out of him. Richard Sims plays Captain Don Johnson, as obviously a nod to Miami Vice. And he was actually very convincing. I really liked him as the captain. Came off with a good screen presence, very commanding presence in his form. Didn't have a lot of lines, didn't have a huge part, but the parts that he was in the movie were pretty impactful, and I quite enjoyed him as the actor. So Tracy Burr's Detective Schofield and Waugh's Detective Douglas are on the hunt for the vigilante. In the meantime, we have another 2 detectives played by Tom Griddle and Al Zuniga as Detective O'Brien and Detective Ramirez. And they were kind of like the comedy relief. Their acting was, they had good parts, but I feel like the writing for those particular characters, and I'm just spitballing here, but this is kind of how I felt. I felt like that those characters didn't have a lot of dialogue written in the script, and they were told to kind of riff and improvise because their conversations that they had, while were kind of funny, certain lines, they were very, some of it felt like it was a little bit drug out. Some of it felt like that they were searching for lines to say to try and make some sort of comedy relief, and it kind of didn't work out too great for them. But in the end, overall, I'd say they did a halfway decent job with what they were given, but I feel like a lot of their stuff they were told, here's the lines that we need you to say, and then we're going to need you to come up with some filler in the meantime. And then there is Bridget Powers, aka Bridget the Midget, coming in at a whopping 3'9". She was a firecracker, and she's a part of Dante's crew. And she is a brutal little bitch in this movie, and she has got a lot to say. She's got a mouth on her. I really enjoyed her character. Don't try to cancel me for Bridget the Midget. That's what they credit her as in the movie. That's what she goes by. She is actually been in a lot of stuff in the adult industry. Found that out the hard way when I was looking her up. So don't go searching for her too far. You'll run into some weird stuff. But yeah, nonetheless, the movie itself, pretty good storyline. I really like the way those three plot lines come together. Cinematography was actually pretty well done in this. Like I said, as far as the special effects go, there was a lot of post-editing special effects that didn't, weren't that great. But I did like the lighting in this movie. This movie uses a lot of overexposure and underexposure at night and during the day to try and create a euphoric atmosphere, if you will. It's very lucid. It's very bright. It's very colorful. I like the way it played out, especially the night scenes, and was really well done in that area. So they did a lot with a little, which is one of my favorite sayings when it comes to doing low budget stuff. But the lighting in this was really, really well done. It looks like they experimented a little bit with what would work, and they came up with some good ideas as far as the lighting goes. Now, as I said before, this actually has a very high body count, like 45 people end up being killed in this movie, most of them part of Dante's crew. I don't want to get into too many spoilers with that towards the end of the movie. But there was some weird things with that. I don't know if this was funded through Indiegogo or if this was done through investors. I feel like, from the little bit of knowledge that I have on the movie, because I didn't talk to Joseph Williamson too much about it, it looks like it might have been crowdfunded a little bit. With crowdfunding, you can sometimes pay to be in a movie. So some of these people may have paid to be in an extra, or they may have just been, people around town that wanted to try and be in the movie, or they might be friends of the people that made the movie. Either way, the henchmen in this movie, some of them were really cool. You have John Ozuna, who has done a lot of cool things. He's done a lot of independent stuff, and he's done a lot of uncredited stuff in major motion pictures. So you have John Ozuna, who has just a quick snippet of a fight scene that looks really well. He is a martial artist in real life. He has done stunt coordinating, and he has been a background extra in movies like, some of the Marvel movies. I don't remember which ones off the top of my head. He has been in some of the Marvel stuff. He has been in some big Hollywood productions as uncredited or a background extra. And then he's done a lot of cool little things like this. So John Ozuna's in there, not for very long, but his fight scene, really good. Looked really awesome, and I would have loved to have seen more of that. And then you have other people that don't look comfortable firing a gun, and I don't know how to demonstrate this very well. So obviously when you're shooting a gun, it's going to give it a little bit of kick, And then you have some people that were like, because it's post-editing special effects, you have some people that are very stiff when they pretend the gun is firing. So there was a lot of weird things where some people looked very natural in what they were doing, and then you had some things where people looked very unnatural in what they were doing. So I will say, though, that this movie is, while we're not winning any Oscars with this thing, it's one of those movies that it has a really good storyline. It's a really fun movie to watch. This would be a blast to sit around with people. If you love low budget stuff, if you're into indie stuff, this would be a great thing to sit around and watch while you're either getting high or drunk, eating pizza with your friends, and just having a good time with it. It is a really fun movie to watch. It's actually rated 8.0 on IMDb. I have a feeling most of those reviews are probably from the people in the movies themselves or their friends and family. I wouldn't say it's an 8, but I've definitely seen some worse things here lately, so I give it a solid 6, 6.5. I had a lot of fun watching this. I did like the cinematography in it, and I look forward to seeing what else is going to be coming down the pipeline from Livid Media, because if they're doing stuff like this, that's a good thing to follow, and it's perfect for me. So guys, that's going to do it for me this time. Check out Death Bitch. It's going to be available video on demand in the next couple months. You can get the DVD online. Check them out. Like, subscribe, and comment to my YouTube channel. Check me out on Facebook. And I'll see everybody in the next video.